Anyway, with the sun shining as it has over the last few days, it's made us all want to get out into the English countryside. And one place that has both beauty and glorious tradition is Leeds Castle near Chatham, Kent. The historian of castles, Lord Conway, has called it the loveliest castle in the world. But since the time of its famous owner, Henry VIII, the appeal of Leeds Castle has taken a very new turn, as Simon Reed has just been finding out.
Yes, this is Leeds Castle, the oldest and most romantic of England's stately homes. There's been a house here since the year 857. And it was built in wood, and for the last 900 years or so, as you can see, it's been built in stone. But these days, Leeds Castle is not simply known as a stately home for humans. No, it's got one of the biggest duckeries in England. The agent for Leeds Castle is John Money, and he's over by the Duckery now, and we're going to have a word with him. John, this has been called the loveliest castle in the world. Is that fair comment?
I think that Lord Conway made a very fair comment indeed, because Leeds, with its almost unique setting of the great rolling grass of the golf course, and then the enormous expanse of water, and then the stone walls of the castle rising immediately out of it, really gives to anybody coming here for the first time an impression of great charm and magnificence.
Apart from the castle itself, the main attraction is the water. Tell me about the Duckery, how it started.
Well, the Duckery began really 20 years ago this year. It was an almost derelict and neglected part of the garden, although it was on one of the many waterways which go through the park here. We've got 37 varieties of ducks, and we've got 9 varieties of geese and swans. And they do all get on pretty well together, and the reason for that is that their enclosure is large enough for them to be able to take up individual territories. And we do get a few dust-ups, particularly during the breeding season, which is now, but they seem to settle down pretty well.
Who looks after them, John?
They're looked after by Peter Taylor, who was responsible for all Lady Bailey's birds, both the aviary birds and the duckery, and has been for many years, and in fact he very largely built up both collections with her.
They look pretty hungry, Peter.
They're always hungry. They never seem to have enough. They get two meals a day, but they always seem to be looking for it when I come down.
What do you feed them on?
Well, at the moment we're feeding on wheat and a layer's pellet, because this time of the year, of course, they're just starting to breed, and we're trying to encourage and get a few more eggs.
I should think, well, how many ducks are there here, roughly?
210 ducks plus about 100 geese at the moment.
So you must get through a fair amount of food, I should think, during the course of a year.
About 16 tonnes of wheat, 9 tonnes of pellets, and plus, of course, thousands of loaves of bread.
How do they get on with the public now? Because you've been open, what, 3 years to the public?
Yes. Well, when we opened up, of course, the geese are not too bad. They're quite tame. But the ducks all used to go and hide themselves under the bushes and that. But they are getting better now, because the public have discovered there's ducks here, and of course they bring little tidbits, and that's encouraged them out of the bushes, and of course they're getting quite tame. It's not a good thing on my point of view, because I prefer them to be that little bit more timid, so that they breed that little bit better. And I think when they're too tame, they don't seem to breed quite so well.
Mm. Do you do all the breeding here?
Yes, we do all the breeding here as much as we can, and as many eggs as we can find. We try to do the best we can with them. We collect them up, and we put them into incubators, and we hope that we get a success.
There should be a nest in here, then?
Yes, you may be lucky and find one here. I know she was sitting. Let's see what we can find. We do it very quietly and very gently. She may sit here.
Oh, yeah.
Here she is. She's made a lovely little nest in there, as you can see, with all her down. That means to say that she's real broody.
And how old will the eggs be?
These are about 14 days old. and they have to go until they're 32, but she's going to lose them before then, because if she hatches them off and she goes into the water, then all the others will kill the young.
But you've obviously got a lot of love for the ducks. Any
Yes,
of
I
the
have.
37 species that is your favourite?
Well, really, you can't have any. You can't have a favourite. Not really. I suppose you can count them all the same.